My name is Dan Kirk. I'm the host of the event today. I am VP of Strategy in our global enterprise carrier channel department. I work with our service provider customers internationally to look at growth opportunities and new business models and ways to grow the business. And a key part of my role is to work with our customers to share the experiences we're seeing in customers internationally, but also to listen to our customers and take that feedback back into our continuous improvement process. So I'm delighted to be hosting today's event. These IP Club sessions are a chance for us to share with you some of the developments in our portfolio and how we think they can help you grow your business and exploit market trends and new growth opportunities. Today, we're going to focus on the opportunity from managed services and how those are enabled by Huawei's Cloud Campus 3.0. Demand for managed services is probably the fastest growing area of the networking market, well over 20-30% per annum. And this is driven by both demand from customers who see transformations of the campus as a really important part of their growing, changing digital transformation, and also new services enabled by cloud models and AI tools that allow service partners such as yourselves to develop new services and new capabilities. Now, in a minute, you'll be hearing from my colleague, Richard Miller, who will share some of the capabilities that we are developing to help you develop those services and manage services for your customers. Then we'll have a short video from one of our partners, Anna Pui from Wi-Fi First. We'll talk about the market trends they're seeing in the market and also give examples of how they've supported the digital transformation of the retail sector. And then we'll hand over to Victor Jimenez from the solutions team, who'll give a little bit more detail about some of the latest features and developments in Cloud Campus. And then we'll have a short video just highlighting the user experience of Cloud Campus. And then if all goes to plan, we should have about 10 minutes at the end for Q&A. What I would say to you is, please, you should have a chat box available on the right-hand side of the screen. So as we go through this presentation, please type your questions in and I will try and capture as many as I can. And if we get time, ask them at the end. If we don't get a chance to go through all the questions, we'll get back to you directly afterwards with specific answers. The other thing to say is that we're going to run a short quiz. Hopefully when you registered, you accepted the terms and conditions. And after Richard's presentation and after Victor's presentation, they'll have a multiple choice question they'll put up on screen. Type your answer as quick as you can on the right hand side and we'll pick the fastest 3 people who get both answers correct. And there are 3 Huawei GP Pro smartwatches available. And again, we'll let the lucky winners know straight after the event. Okay, with that, I'm going to hand over now to Richard to take you through the next bit. So just bear with me a second as I transfer across to my colleague Richard.
Thanks, Dan. We have to share screens on this particular platform, which is fine. So hopefully you'll see my screen now. So delighted to be here. As Dan said, my name is Richard Miller, and I work with Dan and 1 or 2 other colleagues globally, a very international role, and where my job particularly is to try and help our service partners deploy and grow their businesses with Huawei. And a big part of that job is really finding ways to support you as partners, look at how we can improve our processes, and most importantly, look at how we can improve the support we offer you as we go through our relationships. So there's really 3 things I want to cover today. We're going to cover, first off, the growth opportunity, where we see the market, and also how we think you can best address the market opportunity that is quite clearly now at the front of everyone's mind. Secondly, then I want to talk about a new program that we've kicked off. We call it the Managed Service Support Program. It's really about bringing together all of our capabilities in terms of managed services into one place to help you better support your customers. And finally, I'm just going to touch on a new initiative that we've kicked off. We call it continuous improvement. And it's really a request for help at some point from you as partners to feed back to us what you like, but more importantly, what you don't like about the things that we do, so that we can look and try and work out how we can support you. And then after my presentation, there will be a video, and then Victor Jimenez will talk about our new iteration of Cloud Campus, Cloud Campus 3.0, which is really quite an exciting evolution of what we've already got. So let's just jump in straight away with the opportunity. In terms of the global picture, there is growth. There's growth in managed services and cloud managed campuses. You know, that's just driven, I think, through expansion of offices and new businesses around the world. But I think what's most interesting, if you look at the chart on the left-hand side, it's the evolution and the switch out of what you might think of as a traditional campus solution to much more of a cloud managed solution in all its forms. So that today, the latest forecast would suggest it's probably a 50-50 mix in terms of the revenues that we're seeing in the market. And that's really driven by customers' appetite to transform, their appetite to look at driving more efficiencies into their operations and to give a better level of service. For example, in education, you know, education is moving much more into cloud-based services in the classroom. They need a better connectivity to be able to support those types of things. But if you look at the chart in the middle, what you can see is that the adoption of cloud managed services is not necessarily uniform today. I think, you know, if I look at this chart, what I might think of as sort of quite static businesses, those are very office-based schools in the education sector. They are far ahead in terms of their adoption of cloud-based services. But even the laggards, want for a better term, we're still seeing sort of 3-4-fold levels of penetration coming through into the market now from where they were in 2017. So there's a massive opportunity here for all sectors, all customers, to move from their traditional legacy way of doing things to the much more modern, much better controlled, better quality way of doing things and delivering things into the cloud. And I'm sure over time, what we'll see is that all sectors in the market will catch up, and eventually, you know, this is going to become very quickly the de facto way in which we serve our customers, particularly in the campus space. This is creating, I think, quite a lot of opportunity for you as service providers. Clearly, moving from where we are in our legacy systems to this sort of cloud approach is opening up lots and lots of different opportunities in terms of expanding your portfolio, bringing together the LAN and the WAN into a single service, for example, is just one simple example of how portfolios are evolving, and we are seeing partners beginning to move quite quickly in this direction. But also things like IoT and the way that you as a service partner can really support customers in terms of IoT, be that sort of green services, sustainability services in offices, right the way through to asset tracking in logistics arenas, or even better patient monitoring in healthcare. All of these things, and there's millions of them in the market, and millions of partners now looking at exploring and developing IoT are available to you as a service partner. But the other interesting thing is really how you can start conjoining and bringing together other parts of your portfolio, particularly if you're active in the general cloud service provider space, and how you can bring together effectively an end-to-end story for your customers. And because of everything's delivered out the cloud, everything's controlled, supported out the cloud, it enables you to differentiate in the market. It enables you to think about, what is the service levels I want to provide my customers at a totally end-to-end level? Can I tighten them? Can I use that as a way of developing businesses? And customers are particularly responding to this type of thinking right now. A lot of the research that we're doing globally, but particularly in Europe, is suggesting there is a strong desire from CIOs in all organizations, be that public sector down to some smaller SMEs, are looking at how they can outsource some of the operations of their networks, move it much more to a managed service footing. And that's really, really, really good in providing you with the opportunities that I think that you need. But the meat of it is where the money is. And I think the overwhelming advantage that we're seeing in the cloud provision in all its form is really how it can drive costs out of your operations. So the chart here is a fairly simple comparison between a sort of the legacy approach and the cloud approach. But what we're seeing is that savings in terms of customer setup are significant, and then ongoing savings in terms of once the customer's installed, up and running, the ongoing savings versus what you may have been doing and are doing today in terms of a traditional approach can be very, 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 very high. We've got examples of customers now where the end-to-end OPEX and O&M savings is north of 80%, having moved from a legacy traditional approach to the cloud-based approach. And that's driven by a whole range of different things. So in the setup process, what the biggest saving is just the number of hours that you might need to spend on a customer site. It's things like desktop Wi-Fi planning and zero-touch provisioning when you get to deploying is taking out massive amount of hours that you need to spend designing and developing individual customer solutions, and that's really where a lot of those savings are. And then in the ongoing maintenance, it's that cloud management platform, the fact that you can see much better visibility of everything that's going down in your customer's network. You can identify faults, you can predict faults, and you can take action far quicker than you ever would in a traditional legacy approach. And also change management then comes into play. Significant portion of all the changes that a customer may request of you can be done remotely using the cloud management tools. You don't have to send people every time to the customer's premises to change a particular quad setting or config. So the cost savings are massive, and that allows you to really think about your pricing structures, how you go after new business, and all of those things. But also those sources of new revenue are really important. As I said, there's a massive opportunity now to think about how you create new portfolio, how you develop your value proposition in a whole set of different ways, not just around the managed service, but the services and the applications that you might want to sit on top of that. And we're seeing in the market now that compared to just selling equipment and maybe managing that equipment for customers, it's a 30+% uplift in the revenues that you can get from each customer. It's really quite compelling. I'm not going to dwell on this slide because Victor's going to go through what we're doing in terms of our proposition, which we call Cloud Campus, in a minute. But there's two things I wanted to pull out just on this slide. The first is that our platform is highly scalable. It can shrink down to really quite small customers, micro businesses at the volume end and at the SME end, and then it can scale up to the largest organizations that you can think of in terms of public sector, large multinationals, etc. And that can all be delivered from one platform. So it gives you scope to attack the market in any way that you want and to really develop your market all off one platform, one set of training for your people, one set of costs. And the other thing I'd point out is that we've developed this platform and continue to believe in having platforms that are as open as we can make them. We have a set of APIs that we make available to all of our partners that enable you to integrate other applications and other partners into the platform. For example, educational provision, ESL on the top left of this slide, which stands for electronic shelf labeling, is very popular in the retail sector, just as an example. But it also allows you to integrate our platform into your existing IT estates, into your existing OSS. And that enables you to leverage and reuse the investments that you've already made in IT and not have to constantly swivel chair to our platform to do everything. So we think it's a really compelling mix of capabilities, and Victor will take you through that in a while. Now, we've got the platform. Where's the market and how do we go after the market? So we've done quite a lot of research over the last year, 18 months, as we've been developing our thinking in this space. And what our research has told us is that there's really 4 buckets of customer need that cloud managed platforms can really help serve. We could call them business drivers, if you like. The first is, how do I get a better experience for the employees within my organization? I want better performance. I want to optimize the experience. I want quads to my key applications. Those types of things. How can I then drive a business upgrade, a business performance step change through transformation and leveraging modern technology to do the things I want to do? And most importantly, I want to be future-proofed. I'm happy to take an investment in a new platform, in a new service, but I don't want it to be a cul-de-sac. I need it to be able to grow with my business and be able to add new services, new features as we go forward. Risk management is clearly top of many CIOs' agendas now, particularly security. And this gives you opportunity to come in with your managed service commitments, managed service agreements that can really help put customers' minds at rest and take some of the strain and the issues that they might have and they might be battling with around risk onto your books, and really consolidate that with other customers to deliver into the market. And the final real need that we're seeing from a lot of customers is really commercial flexibility. A lot of customers, particularly those in the retail sector, in the education sector, they need rapid deployment. They cannot have any downtime as you roll out your solutions to your partners, and our platform provides that. Plus the way that we do our licensing and the way that you can pool licenses and deliver flexibility in the commercial approach, I think can help really lower the overall total cost of ownership to those customers. And that's really backed up by those lower costs, the efficiency that you just get from the platform in the first place. So just thinking of one example. So I've selected public sector. Public sector is evolving really quite quickly now. They've got increasing demands for access to the cloud services that they use. They need access, they need it 24/7, and they need it most of all reliable, and they're always on. And these platforms now can really deliver that, and with the quality and the rapid fault fix that it can provide, it can deliver a lot of assurances to the public sector customers in this regards. And public sector is not unique in the way that COVID especially is accelerating different work patterns. A lot more, we're going to see a lot more flexible working in the future, as I think we all know, and shared working environments. And that's really then having a knock-on effect in terms of the collaboration tools that customers, and particularly public sector customers, are looking to deploy into their operations, all of which needs that reliable, bulletproof experience and connectivity that sits underneath. And everything in public sector, as it is with all customers, is wrapped into security, and security is a key consideration. So when I look at those 4 key customer needs and those 8 key messages, the way that we've been advising customers, and this is beginning to see quite a lot of upside now in the customers that are sort of adopting some of this approach, is to really pick and mix the key messages, tailor them, of course, to your particular markets and your particular customers, but they all resonate off those 4 needs and 8 key messages. And for public sector, it's clearly a balancing act between cost of ownership. Every public sector budget is strained right now. So how do I balance the cost of ownership with superior performance whilst we're maintaining all of that security wrap that we wanted? And so we can start, and we can help you figure some of this out. We can start thinking about how we can take the messaging into the market along the lines of affordability, security, digital, flexible in the case of public sector. And there's other messages then that you would look at if it was a bank, a manufacturing company, another company. They just tailor these messages to get the excuse me, to get the value proposition right for each of those segments. And it works very well. Customers are liking it where we're deploying these type of thinking, and we're seeing now, as I said, quite a lot of upside in terms of how that's working. So let's just talk quickly then about managed services. We have the platform. We can help you, and we're advising on the best way to grow the market in terms of the messaging, strong messaging that cloud managed services can deploy to those customers against those 4 needs. But what about you as a service provider? How can we help deliver a better service for you? So as we've gone through this process of developing a better and more refined level of market thinking, we've also effectively been exploring the best way that we can support you as a managed service provider. And we've started a project about a year ago, and we literally went back to basics, trying to think through what is it that you do as a service provider, and what is it that you do, how you do it, and therefore what support do you need to make this thing happen. And it really falls down to these 3 areas. There's the designing and deploying of the customer network in the first place. And then once that's designed and once it's deployed, how do I best serve the customer, and how do I maintain that platform and that customer network in life, with all the things that you'll see around, security patches and hardware uplifts and all of those things. And then sort of running through both of those is, how do I price for this, and how do I contract to the customer in the best way, and how can I leverage the toolkits that Huawei provide, particularly around some of the proactive and AI-based maintenance and predictive maintenance that we offer, to enable you to sign with certainty SLA agreements, managed service agreements, knowing that you can be backed up by the platforms and the toolkits that we provide. And we call it our managed service support program. And we're looking across all of those activities. We've bundled what we do today, and we're developing new things all the time into really these three areas. The first area is technical support. Clearly, platforms are still technical, and we've pulled together and we're developing and continuing to develop all of the toolkits, the specifications, the planning guides, and all of the things that you need to understand the platform and make sure that the solution that you design for your customer, your end customer, is fit for purpose. And then within that, understanding where our portfolio roadmap is, and all of the things that come around with how do I deploy, particularly where you might have a very complex scenario. We can help you with our support program. The second area in the middle here is how we support you in life. What is the service support that we can provide? And again, we have everything from a tertiary technical support that can sit above your own NOC, your own network management center, and provide advice and help for those issues that maybe you struggle to resolve, and they could be really deep in the platform in that regard. We can help you with a lot of the post-sales activities, and also help you with those APIs I referred to earlier. How can I integrate my NOC platforms, my network management platforms, my OSS into the platform, so that my people can use the tools that they are already familiar with and continue to give the best service that we can. And all of that is underpinned, of course, by a whole set of training. And then finally, commercially, we're continuing to think about how we might help you deliver in the market. We've created, as I've just shown, a whole set of commercial thinking in terms of marketing, in terms of how we can address customer need. But we're trying to go beyond that now. We're trying to develop best practice for different markets and for different customer sectors. And we continue to evolve and develop our commercial support in terms of our market development funding, which is available to customers who are sort of registered as value-added partners and more. And those three areas break down like this effectively. We have 9 modules that go in to make our managed service support, starting with a whole set of toolkits. These are available on our partner websites as much as anywhere, and it's completely searchable, and you can look for tools, guides, specifications, marketing materials, particularly product descriptions and other brochures and things that you can use in your own marketing. And we also have a set of partner programs to support you in that regard as well, right the way through from professional services that can help you deploy Cloud Campus in the first place, and then support you in maybe some of the very complex customer deployments that you may face. A whole set of lifecycle management capabilities around software maintenance and the product roadmap itself, and assistance in upgrading and ensuring that everything you've got from the CPE in the customer's premises right the way through to the platform that you're deploying is with the latest software and the latest security wrap. The Technical Assistance Center is an area that's available to partners, and as I say, it acts as a sort of tertiary capability that can support you on a 24/7 basis, plus your own local team, your own solution managers and product managers that will be available to you in the local team are also available to provide a lot of that technical assistance as you go through. And then I won't dwell on all of the slides, but training I think is important. We have, as many of you will know, an accreditation scheme where your engineers and your pre-sales and salespeople can go through our university, Huawei University, and become fully accredited in one or more of our platforms and our technologies. And that's a really useful thing. It makes sure that they are fully loaded with the latest knowledge and the expertise to help your customers as you do go through that sort of design, serve, and deliver capabilities. And then on the commercial side, as I've said, we're trying to develop, and we are developing best case studies. We're developing success stories for you to use, and we're developing a whole set of I guess economic and financial modeling tools that you can take on board to work out how to price the best pricing scenarios and all of those things to help you go to market in an efficient way and really win in that market. Plus, that's all underpinned by our market development funding, which is available. And the final thing I would just point out is then partners. We talked right at the beginning about IoT, and there's potentially millions of applications now that can be deployed over the top and leverage the capabilities that we provide in Cloud Campus. We have worked with many partners in different parts of the world, and we're more than happy, and we want to help you explore new services, new portfolio that you can add to your value proposition using the partners that we've worked with, but also new partners. You may have partners that we haven't worked with, and we have capabilities in our labs across Europe that can help you develop that partner and make sure that the integration and the technical capabilities are working with your platform before you go forth and deploy. So there's a whole range of support now. It's all available in one place. And to access this support, there's our partner website where a lot of the toolkits are, and then go through your local team, your account team, who can also then advise you on the best way to get hold of any support that you might need. And that's how we do it. Okay, just finally from me, I just want to cover something which is a little bit off piece, perhaps, but it's important to us, and it's the continuous improvement program. So the third area that we've really been trying to work on in particularly the last 6 months, is to think about how we can make our service better. Where does the service fall down, and what can we do about it? Now, we all know that 1 or 2 bumps in the road, they're manageable, we can overcome them, and we can create workarounds and all of those things. But when there's a lot of bumps and in the road, then the journey can become uncomfortable. And so what we want to do is really understand not the major product issues, but the issues that you may have with the processes that you have to enjoy when you're working with Huawei, and how we can iron those out and make the whole experience for you and your employees as swift and as efficient as we can, really. We call it the Continuous Improvement Program. And this has been established now for about 6 months. We've started initially just looking internally and working with our local account teams to get their feedback, to say, well, my customers are telling me these things are a problem, and they'd like to see something done about it. And the approach is really looking at what is a typical customer journey from selling the solution, delivering it, operating it, billing for it, and then serving it in life, which is so important. And just working through those logical customer journey steps, and trying to think and hear what are the issues in terms of how do I order from Huawei? How do I get the support I need? Is there things that are frustrating, little niggles that we can iron out? And so we do want to hear from you directly. Today's probably not the right time to do that, but certainly working through your local team, we'd love to hear any feedback, not just things that we can improve on, but things that we do well that we might do even better as well, just to get that feedback. And then we will put this into this continuous improvement approach, where we prioritize the common frustrations, try and do something about it, then move to the next set of frustrations. And we really do welcome any suggestions, any feedback that you've got in terms of those niggles and things that we can do better. Very, very important to us. So let's just finish off with a quick summary. So in terms of the opportunity, there's clearly a significant opportunity now in cloud managed services, particularly at the campus level, but also in the network level in terms of the wide area networking. Our platform, Cloud Campus, can support and do both of those things. There's a rapid displacement of the legacy solutions. We saw on that first chart, 50% now of all sales and the market is in the cloud space, and that will only continue until effectively the traditional legacy approach is all but disappeared. But the opportunity isn't just about selling a new service. That service is creating a much better cost base for you. It's much more efficient to operate and run a cloud managed campus solution than it is in a legacy way with all the truck rolls and the hands-on approach. And once established and once built, massive opportunity to develop and drop in new solutions based around IoT, based around other tools and applications that you may have, and can join that end to end with whatever else that you're selling from your own portfolio within the cloud as well. So big opportunity. Our determination is to be the partner of choice for you. Our determination is to be easy to do business with and give you the tools and the support that you need to make that a success. So we've developed our managed service support program. It's based around both technical service and commercial support, all of those three things. And it's really beginning to come together now and be deployed in a meaningful way. And it covers everything that you need from the tooling, templates, guides, config, advice, and it's all delivered through our partner website or locally through your account team. And then finally, as I just talked about, we're not stopping. We want to continue to improve. We want to be that partner of choice. We want to be easy to do business with. And so we've developed an ongoing program, and this program won't stop. At least that's the vision. It's an ongoing process that never stops, and trying to iron out the long tail of small niggles, frustrations, bugs that you may have that we want to hear about, and then we can try and do something about that and really address that through a feedback loop down to you through the local team as well. So that's me. I've got to ask a question. So you're in luck to win the latest smartwatch, and the question is this. So fingers on the buzzers. I think the answer is A, B, C is the answer you need to give. So let's just go to the question and we'll see. So what are the three areas that make up Huawei's managed service support program? Is it A, continuous improvement, technical support and commercial support? Is it B, business growth, technical support and service support? Or is it C, technical support, service support and commercial support? So type your answers into the chat box and the guys will pick that up and announce the winner, no doubt, in due course. So that's me done. I think now we're going to have a really interesting video from Arno Pui, who's the, I think, Senior Vice President of Wi-Fi, and has got a fascinating story around how cloud-based managed services with Huawei's Cloud Campus is really helping him to deliver for his customers. So I'll hand back to the system.
Hello, I'm Arno Pui. I'm in charge of business development at WiFirst. I would like to thank the Huawei team for inviting me today to talk about our new collaboration and how we jointly want to accelerate digital transformation in the retail industry. Before diving into more details about how we plan to achieve this, please let me give you some more information about WiFirst, who we are, to understand how we work together with Huawei. Our vision is that innovation is the fuel, is critical to improve competitivity across different industries. And to do so, as a telecom operator for B2B customers, we concentrate our efforts into building and operating digital infrastructures that will allow our customers to implement their digital strategy very smoothly. How do we do that? Basically, we innovated and we are proposing since inception, since 2002, a new way to consider Wi-Fi with a Wi-Fi as a service solution. What does that mean? It means that we take care of everything for Wi-Fi from A to Z. Unlike integrators that will install infrastructure at the customer's premises or resellers that will just resell access points, we are a true operator, meaning that we commit on the results, on the quality of the service. We take care of the network, and how do we do that? We take the full chain from A to Z regarding Wi-Fi project. We perform the surveys, we do the installation of the hardware, and we make sure that the maintenance is performed, may it be remote or on-site maintenance. And we found out that this Wi-Fi as a service model was very attractive to many customers, as it allows them to focus on the business needs rather than to focus on infrastructure issues. And this is why our solution was adopted by many different segments across industry. First of all, we started with the students, student residencies. It was back in 2002 at the inception of Wi-Fi. And this market was really interesting because we had to face many challenges. Students are power users when it comes to internet connection because they wanted to go fast at any time, even during peak hours. They wanted to be secure. And last but not least, they wanted to be cost efficient. So we had to deal with all these constraints to design the perfect solution to fit their needs. Then we extended our offer to hotel industry. This was really interesting too, as students are more focused on just internet, just Wi-Fi for internet, whereas hotel industry is much more concerned about integrating the solution with their application, with their business needs. We also work with the defense industry for the French Army. We proudly provide Wi-Fi solutions to French soldiers in France and in overseas operations to stay connected to their families. And as you may imagine, this represents a lot of challenges when it comes to deploy and operate such Wi-Fi solution in remote places. And as far as security is concerned, being validated by the French Army is a great label. We also provide this Wi-Fi as a service solution to retail and corporate offices where there are lots of needs when it comes to digital transformation. We also started working with the health industry, and we've seen in the last couple of months that there was a really important need for better connectivity in hospital, clinics, or residencies for elder people. Please let me give you a few figures to tell you more about Wi-Fi's size and who we are. We are currently operating more than 700,000 units and more than 10,000 point of sales with our Wi-Fi as a service solution. And to do so, we had to install more than 170,000 access points that we operate on a daily basis. We see on our network more than 3 million different devices every month, and we're happy to be the 5th biggest operators traffic-wise in France. We also have a global coverage for our solution. We currently operate our solution in 26 countries, and virtually we could operate it anywhere on the globe, as the solution is very centralized. And at the end of the day, operating a site in north of Mali is quite the same as operating a hotel in Paris, or a student residence in Spain, or a retail point of sales in Germany. Okay, so what does Wi-Fi as a service really mean for Wi-Fi? It means a lot of responsibilities because, as I told you, we want our customers to focus on their business and not to worry about the status of the infrastructure. The infrastructure must work. This is our job. And to do that, we have to take care of everything, and we have to be particularly cautious. We have to be cautious when it comes to selecting people we're working with, our team, defining our process and make sure that we follow them, and selecting our partners, hardware partners. And when we look for new solutions, new access point solutions, we take into consideration two things. First one is the hardware. We want our partners, the vendors, to have wide portfolio with robust solutions and modular solutions. The second thing, which is more and more important, is the software solution. In fact, we need a zero-compromise software solution that can be powerful to allow our teams to deploy and to operate easier the infrastructure, that is scalable because we have to manage multiple thousands of access points, and that could be flexible and evolutive. In fact, the environment is moving very fast. The competition is moving very fast for our customers, so we need to be here to help them and to adapt the solution to answer their new needs. So as I told you, we have a quite selective process, and 2 years ago, we decided to analyze Huawei solution, the Cloud Campus solution. And after 2 years of a deep analysis, a strong assessment of the solution, we were happy to give a green light to the Huawei team and to integrate their solution into our data centers in our private cloud. And we now have the possibility with this integration to host and to manage more than 100,000 access points for our customers. So we are very excited today to have built this platform and to be able to propose a new solution for our customers and for the market. And one great example of a market that could benefit from this converged wireless infrastructure solution is the retail industry. Because in the retail industry, you have multiple infrastructures for video surveillance, digital signage, electronic shelf labels, and so on. You also have a strong heterogeneity of infrastructure across sites with different solutions provided by different vendors. And some of them are very old, almost obsolete. This generates a lot of bad consequences for the point of sales and for the retail industry. First of all, the cost, because at the end of the day, you will have to maintain all these infrastructures, and for new sites, you will have to install them all, thus generating more and more investments. Then the quality, because if you have multiple infrastructure, you will suffer from interferences. They could be technical interferences. If you take as an example the fact that Wi-Fi and electronic shelf labels use the same 2.4 gigahertz spectrum. But this also could be human interferences. We all know about the story of the tech guy that went to the site on a Monday morning to fix the video surveillance, and all of a sudden, on the afternoon, the cash registers would not connect to the network. This kind of interference can be avoided when you use a single converged network. And then, last but not least, you have consequences, bad consequences on strategy. Because if your infrastructure is not consistent across all your point of sales, it will be almost impossible to roll out, to implement your digital transformation strategy and to implement new services on top of this infrastructure. And this was the conclusion. And our conclusion is that retail industry should definitely have a converged infrastructure to facilitate its digital transformation. And the same conclusion was shared by a major European retail industry player this summer. And we came to an agreement and had a deal to allow them to install such an infrastructure, a converged infrastructure, to operate it and to help them into accelerating their digital transformation. This project will result in more than 3,000 point of sales installed, which should be approximately 35,000 access points installed. Let me dive into the solution. To answer the customer needs, we wanted a three-layer solution: a local layer, a central layer, and a service layer. On the local side, we decided to choose the Air Engine 5760-51 from Huawei. This is a great Wi-Fi 6 access points, 4x4 MIMO, with the possibility to embed an ESL module for electronic shelf labels. And this is great because it allows our infrastructure to handle not only the wireless data, the wireless flows, but also to collect all the information from the electronic shelf labels. Then we can remove the electronic shelf label infrastructure, and on new sites to be rolled out, it will allow us to have a single infrastructure installed. We don't have to install the ESL infrastructure, so it's more cost efficient for the customer and without any interference. On the central level, we do use the Cloud Campus solution, the full stack of it. We use Agile Controller and Campus Insight. We use it for provisioning, for monitoring the whole infrastructure, also for identity management. And we are very happy to have Campus Insight. Our operation team loves this product because it allows them to have a deep insight on what's happening on the ground. Keep in mind that 10 years ago, the main issues you had with wireless was coverage, poor signal resulting in bad performance. But now that we've built so many services on top of the wireless infrastructure, it is key to have a deep understanding of what's going on behind the scenes at the protocol level to understand what could be the cause of an issue. And then we have the service layer. The customer decided to go for our Wi-Fi as a service solution because they wanted to be sure about the results and they wanted to focus their strength, their forces on their business needs, not on the infrastructure. And we are currently rolling out this solution that is now live on multiple sites. And so far, we'd like to thank the Huawei team because they proved to be very supportive, very committed, very engaged, not only in the pre-sales phase, but also in the project phase. And this resulted in a very smooth and fast integration of their solution into our private cloud. As I told you, and as you can imagine, our operations teams are definitely big fans of the Cloud Campus solution and the campus insights that provide them with tremendous capabilities for troubleshooting, thus avoiding to waste time on complex cases. And last but not least, we do appreciate Huawei's flexibility. It proved to be key because we live in a moving environment and we must constantly adapt to the customer needs. So we definitely want to say a huge thank you to Huawei team for making this happen. So what's next now? We are super excited. We are super excited about all the new opportunities that are offered by this new technical collaboration. We do believe that this Wi-Fi as a service, converged and managed solution can make a lot of sense for many players in the industry. And we do believe too that the retail industry will benefit highly from these new solutions. Thank you for your attention. Don't hesitate to reach out to me should you have any questions.
After that video, I need to go on the details of the technical, all these wonders that we have seen on Wi-Fi first. So let me share with you the technical presentation. Okay. So yes, let's maybe get into the more boring part. Okay, talking about the product itself, their architecture. But for sure, you will find it very, very interesting because as in the previous video we can see, this is a real revolution. It's not just going bigger. Okay, it's a good evolution that will give us the tools for the challenge that we are facing into the new economy and the new way to understand the technology and the connectivity. So let's begin. So first, let me introduce myself. I am Victor Jimenez. I am the IP CTO for the Spain office for Enterprise Business Group in Huawei. And then the first thing is obviously is face what kind of challenge we are facing. Okay, normally this is the typical thing that the vendors say to try to sell the newest version of whatever, okay, the kind of apocalyptic stuff. But my impression is that really we have experienced what is a change in the last year. Okay, how fast can it be? And how important is to have the right tools with the right technology available. So the first thing that we have been seeing is definitely the use of wireless mobility terminals. It increased a lot. I believe that no one doubts that have a desktop PC right now can be a very huge problem. We have been rely a lot more and more on laptops, on tablets, on phones, and other different wireless devices. So that part, I believe, is definitely something that we are clear that came here and will stay here. Okay, it doesn't mean that the wired technology now is useless. No, it's just that what we are going to see, what we already are seeing, and what we are going to see in the coming future, the near future, is that we switch totally the relationship between wireless and wired connectivity. In the previous year, even for some companies yet, the wired is the main connection and wireless is a complement. It's going to change totally. It's going to be the other way around. where the main connectivity is going to be based on wireless, and then the wired is the support or the complement for that technology. The second point, obviously, that we see in the evolution is that we cannot allow anymore to have isolated silos for the network. We need to have a global view of all the services and all the network, especially for the people who manage, the administrators of the network. This is quite important. We cannot keep thinking, again, I have switches, I have APs, now I have firewalls, now let me check for the one, and have like an octopus 8 arms to try to manage everything coordinated. And if I change something in one place, I don't know what is which is going to be the effect in the other. And last but not least is obviously everything is moving very fast to the cloud. It can be private cloud, can be hybrid, can be private, public, sorry. But the applications are moving in a different way. In the past was more clear. I have the things in my data center, or I have the things even in my branches, maybe I have some local services. Now, the rules are not so easy to set, because maybe today I have the things in my data center, but tomorrow I will move other place. Okay, so besides that is just a transformation. This is what is happening. This is no relationship with the technology. This is what is going on, is where the market is moving. Now we face the technical issues. The first is, as I say, Wi-Fi as a complement. Okay, we have some problems because we are not considering this to a massive use for everybody. Is if you want something, you put a cable. Now we have faced a problem that the existing networks maybe are not very well designed. Okay, so how to detect the coverage problems, the coverage holes, okay, or the interference, or a bad design. Okay, how can we solve this on our deployment, or to avoid it in the new designs? Okay, the other topic is what I say is we need to have a more holistic vision of the network. We cannot think as, okay, I manage the branch this way, I manage my singular building this other way, I manage my switches in one way, and I manage the Wi-Fi on a different way, with different tools and even different policies at different network teams. This don't scale very well. Okay. The third point is something that really I don't fully understand, but networking people, by some strange reason, if we compare with security or IT, we still love to do CLI. We still love to get on the command line and do things based on text. It's okay. I can understand that sometimes you have more powerful stuff, but honestly, it doesn't scale well. If you have to manage all the network like this, it's quite difficult. When you are talking, as we see in the video before, about thousands, hundreds of thousands of devices, try to manage by CLI is quite difficult. And the last point is about what happened after you have everything in place. Because honestly, no important how good is the technology, you always are going to face issues. Okay, you are always going to need to modify something, to fix something. Okay, so right now the system is based on, if something happened, somebody will open a ticket. Okay, and then we have basically reactive actions for the management, because, well, it's not so easy to detect what is going on, that something is wrong. It's easy to detect that the network just fall down. Okay, but if the network goes slow, if an application don't have the better conditions to operate and provide the quality of experience that the users need, this is not so easy to detect right now with existing tools. So we need to move to new tools and a new environment. Okay, and this is what we're going to see a little bit in more detail. Okay, the first one, as I say, is go to a network that is focused on the mobility, no frontiers. Okay, so we understand that maybe this is going to be the main way to connect. It also need to converge with different technology, not just Wi-Fi. Okay, the one global network vision. Okay, we see everything as a single. We need a cloud-based management. When I say cloud-based management, I'm talking about it have to be elastic, it have to be open, okay, and it have to be provide the tools to make it simple, okay. A global network obviously is more complex than try to just fix the pieces. But as I need this global vision, I need to simplify all the complexity that I will have on the underlay, all the protocols, all the different communication schemes. Okay, I need to have a way to simplify that. And for me, the most important part, honestly, as the people from Wi-Fi First mentioned, is the intelligence, is how to understand, how to know what is going on at certain time in the network. So let's move to the first concept, that is the Wi-Fi, okay, fully Wi-Fi. Again, it doesn't mean that now we have to throw out all the switches and put APs everywhere, okay? We put the things where they are needed, okay? But we need to be conscious that most of the communication now is going to move to wireless, because fortunately we have also new technology. With Wi-Fi 6, we can do things that before was not able to do. Previously was very easy. Wi-Fi was just for browsing and to check the emails and things like that. Now we can have very exciting technologies like augmented reality or even virtual reality, okay, on the classrooms, on the universities, or in the healthcare system. We can also have massive connectivity due to IoT. Okay, that can be maybe the ESL, or maybe can be just sensors for a smart building or smart manufacturing. We can also integrate advanced devices in warehouses, like automated guided vehicles. Okay, all those things now can use the benefits of Wi-Fi 6 to converge, as we are going to see. Okay, so if we begin to add all these pieces, the intelligence, the cloud management, and so on, we see how we can improve the efficiency of the company or the users. Okay, adding all of this. So this is the preparation. It's not just provide a better Wi-Fi, is to make a better network. Okay, here are some examples of the application that have been mentioned. As you can see here, on your right, Huawei Wi-Fi 6 solution can provide a good platform for all these new applications, okay, including video, immersive education, AGVs, okay, and other manufacturing services that in the past was not possible to do. So it means that we need to consider this in the use. People sometimes make the mistake that just believe that, okay, I have Wi-Fi 6. Previously, I have Wi-Fi 5. So it just goes faster. No, the technology changed a lot. Okay, so then going to the how we design for this new application, for this new technology. As I mentioned, the first thing obviously is, or the thing that we want to avoid is to have this continuous coverage. Okay, cover the holes, try to minimize the interference. Okay, facilitate things like the roaming. Okay, for that we apply new different tools that help us precisely to do this on the design phase. Okay, and we use many technologies that we are going to show some of them next, that allow us to remove this blind spot, remove the coverage holes, and allow a seamless roaming for the users. Okay, some of these technologies we can see here. This is one of our, it's our flagship AP for Wi-Fi 6. Okay, and it includes amazing technologies. But what is more important for me is not just this model. We are including all of these features. All of these features are included somehow in, maybe not all the models, but 80% of our models or existing model for Wi-Fi 6 include these technologies. The first one is a smart antenna. What means a smart antenna? Is a technology that allows to use a technology that is called beamforming to direct the communication where the user is. Okay, you have a complex arrangement of antennas, but allow you to create a kind of beam that point to the specific user that is in communication at this moment. Okay, this is a technology that came from the mobile, the radio world, in which Huawei have a lot of experience. So what we can get 20% more coverage than AP without this technology, because APs radiate in a 360 degrees. Okay, so you cannot focus on a specific point. So with this technology, you can fix this. Okay, also we have the MIMO, multiple input, multiple output, that also allow us to manage in a better way various users at the same time. Okay, Wi-Fi, because of the way the technology works, in the past, let's say Wi-Fi 4, Wi-Fi 5, just can attend a single user at the same time. So as you have a lot of users, as the number of users increase, the performance of the network goes down. Okay, now with MIMO, the MIMO technology, another improvement on Wi-Fi 6, we can cover plenty of these users at the same time with more capacity, but also better performance for each individual user. Okay, we also mentioned, we see in the video, the built-in IoT slot. You don't see very well here in the graphic, but if you open, you have a PCI Express card that you can insert, and it's totally integrated. So you can integrate other technologies more than Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth that came embedded. You can insert these boards, and you can have access to different technologies for a specific use. And all of this is coordinated, so you don't have internal interferences. So you gain two things. You gain low interferences on the two services, and you gain a single infrastructure to manage everything, just as the example that we see previously in the video for ESL. Okay, and we have the ability to, by software, configure the APs in a way that we can dedicate, if we need it, an independent radio scanning. So we can scan for the quality of the radio environment for the whole time. Okay, this is truly interesting to avoid the interferences. Okay, as I say, the new network going to fully Wi-Fi doesn't mean that all the network is just a piece. We have a mix, and we need many pieces. Here we found some innovation also in the part of different use for industrial use, for Wi-Fi connectivity, or how to provide gateways and accessories like switches or gateways for IoT that will complement this Wi-Fi infrastructure, and based on different segments as transportation, smart energy, or smart city. Okay, the other part for the connectivity is, again, is complement. Is now we need to connect different sites. Okay, the architecture, Cloud Campus 3.0, totally integrates the LAN and the WAN. Okay, we can integrate our policies, how we select the quality of service for different users. We can integrate this with SD-WAN and provide different services based on that. So it's totally designed to work end-to-end on the environment for the customer. Okay, now comes the management. Okay, these are the two big pieces. For me, this is the big revolution of this. This is what the first piece of cloud management is called eMaster and CE Campus. Okay, that is the central piece for the cloud system. This will allow us to have, let's say, the traditional things is like what is going on, be able to check the configuration, the alarms, monitoring, get reports. Okay, but we add more things. Now we can pre-configure many of the things, creating some automation. So once the device is detected, automatically you send the configuration to the branch. You can get a zero-touch commissioning system. Okay, all of this predefined in advance. As I say, you can also manage a different set of devices, not just the Wi-Fi. It don't limit it only to the Wi-Fi alone. It can bring together switching, the wireless part, the SD-WAN that we have seen before, and even security, next generation firewalls, all integrated, all managed with a unified view of all of this. And here is my preferred piece of the puzzle. If the users or the applications have the right environment to work properly and in a satisfying way. As we can see here, in the past, well, we have different users with complex scenarios, with different environments, and we are used to the 4 hours time to respond, to try to check, to try to troubleshoot something when someone detect the failure. Okay, someone detect that something goes down, so someone complain, basically. Okay, right now we have the chance to totally change that. Okay, we have the chance to first detect in advance. This is important, using artificial intelligence tools. Know what is going on. We are going to have a problem. Okay, it's not that we already have it. We're going to have it. So we can detect in advance. It means that rectify this, maybe nobody even noticed, but the administrator can fix it this way. Okay, the faults, the failures will reduce precisely because you can do some proactive actions. Okay, you receive the alarms before the things happen, just because when they begin to go down, to begin to degrade. Okay, and also have a point-to-point vision of that. Okay, so we have application visualization.
Victor, can you hear me? It's Dan here. Does the people saying that the PowerPoint has not shown? We temporarily lost you. So I don't know. Do you want to maybe stop sharing and reshare just to make sure that it comes up?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling me. Okay. Let me check what's going on.
I don't know, Carlo, if you can see.
Yeah.
Just reshare and then maybe.
Yeah, it's not showing. Showing is okay. Okay. I don't know if someone in the maybe want to say where they stop sharing. Okay. Well, I will
reshare and go back to where you were.
It's okay. Blah blah blah. It's okay. Okay. Let me start again. No problem. Okay, so maybe just in case someone missed a piece, but precisely this is what we was. Let me do a very quick
I think you're okay.
Research. Okay, we was talking about the full Wi-Fi. Just if someone missed something. Okay, we was talking about the Wi-Fi 6.
I think it's all okay now. So you pick up.
Okay. Okay. So. Okay, let's go here to the slide about the management. Okay, was to show the architecture for the management, the strong points, okay, of the tool, and we was in here just mentioned about the artificial intelligence assistance that is the campus inside. Okay, and this was the last part. So as I say, as a summary, what we are detecting here is which is the quality of the experience. Okay, how we perceive the network, the service that are providing to me. Just as you mentioned to me that okay, I cannot see your PPT. So precisely the idea of this is to be able to detect before the PPT don't show. Okay. So well, let's go to the summary of all of this that we have been talking. These are the main pieces then to make this work. Okay, the first thing is obviously a powerful Wi-Fi range of products. Okay, that we apply for a lot of different models. Really, I believe is one of the, if it's not the biggest portfolio for different sectors, uses and favors for Wi-Fi 6. Okay, it makes sense to you keep an eye on this. Also, we integrate with two powerful platforms. First is the switching, obviously, because normally an IP will be connected to a switch. Okay, that we are also increasing every day the portfolio and the capacities. Okay, if we need to integrate this in a holistic way with the one, we also have a very comprehensive portfolio for routers that is belong to the or net engine AR devices. And as I mentioned, the most important part of our suite is the eMaster NCE, both campus that bring the operation, bring the management, the control, and campus inside that will bring the intelligence, the ability to, the visibility, the ability to know what is going on. Huawei have a comprehensive portfolio that include the Wi-Fi range of different APs. Okay, that from my point of view is the biggest of any other vendor. Different options for different scenarios. We have switching platforms that are our cloud engine switches. Okay, as you can see, we are number 2 global vendor on that. We also are introducing new advances on this as VXLAN, PoE++, ports that can be configured by software. Okay, and we can integrate with the SD-WAN, okay, with the NetEngine series, and the last piece of this is the eMaster NCE suite that have 2 different parts: the campus, NCE campus, and NCE campus inside. Okay, the first one provides control, provide automation, provides monitoring, configuration tools. And the second one, the NCE campus inside, will provide you the visibility to know what is going on. So basically, this is what we want to show today. Okay. Now we have a question, okay, for the price for the watches. Okay, so you select which is what you believe is the best answer. So which component of the cloud, oh, I missed a new, Cloud 3.0 provides a strong visibility of the quality of experience powered by artificial intelligence? Can be A, eSight, can be B, Agile Controller, can be C, Master NCE Campus Insight, or can be D, Quality of Experience Master Plus. So you see, put your answers. And after this, you will appreciate a video about how you can manage from MSP perspective the tools for eMaster. Okay, I believe it's a good complement to this presentation. So thank you very much.
In the cloud era, more enterprises are choosing the new managed service mode of operations. Against this backdrop, managed service providers, or MSPs, must find ways to better develop services and perform network management and operations, which is both a challenge and an opportunity not to be missed. To this end, Huawei iMaster NCE Campus provides an all-in-one management service platform for MSPs, who can use the Network Operations Center provided by Huawei iMaster NCE Campus to purchase and allocate licenses on demand, as well as develop lower-layer tenants based on services. Let's go through the service process and take a look at the capabilities provided by iMaster NCE Campus for MSPs. First, create a tenant account under the MSP admin account and enable Authorize MSP as required. After this function is enabled, the MSP admin account can perform construction and maintenance on tenant networks. MSP sub-accounts can be created under the MSP admin account to manage different tenants. Sub-accounts can also be created under a tenant to distinguish between different permissions. With permission and domain-based management, MSPs can flexibly meet customers' varying service requirements. On the MSP Information tab page, the logo can be customized to represent an MSP's brand. Upon successful replacement, the uploaded image is displayed in the upper left corner of the system. iMaster NCE Campus supports the license pooling management mode. In this mode, an MSP can flexibly allocate licenses in the license pool, also known as the license package, to multiple tenants as required and reclaim them upon expiration. The MSP can specify the same expiration time for licenses. For example, a tenant has licenses for 10 devices of Model A, which will expire in 12 months, and licenses for 20 devices of Model B, which will expire in 6 months. When the tenant clicks Recalculate Expiration Time, the system automatically allocates license resources so that the license authorization packages of different devices have the same expiration time. After licenses are allocated, network devices can be managed on the Device Management tab page. iMaster NCE Campus allows users to add devices manually one by one, import devices in batches, or let devices be automatically discovered. Using an AP as an example, you can use Cloud Campus app, which is commonly used on-site, to scan the AP's barcode and import device information with a single tap. You can then monitor the device status on iMaster NCE Campus. iMaster NCE Campus has a powerful terminal identification capability. And based on identified terminal types, it can grant differentiated network access permissions to terminals. Users can also customize terminal access rules to flexibly manage and control terminals. iMaster NCE Campus supports template-based service provisioning by industry and scenario. An MSP can inspect all devices of a tenant with a single click. Once the inspection is finished, an inspection report is automatically generated. The report contains the basic information and problem list of the inspected devices and provides the inspection conclusion and handling suggestions based on the device conditions. iMaster NCE also provides powerful O&M functions. Users can be redirected to the iMaster NCE Campus Insight page by clicking Campus Insight on the tenant page of iMaster NCE Campus to perform AI-based intelligent O&M. iMaster NCE Campus Insight can proactively discover 85% of potential problems, locate exceptions in minutes, and intelligently determine root causes to safeguard tenant services.
Great. Well, thanks for that. And thank you to Victor and Richard for your presentations. I think masterfully with time management, we now have about 10 minutes left for any Q&A you want to raise. So there's quite a few have come in over the last hour or so. So if anybody does have any other questions, please type away and we will do our best to answer now. Just the easy questions first. All the presentations we'll make available and we'll give you links to the videos as well. So you can use them for whatever needs you have. Very happy to do that. In terms of the questions that came in, I mean, I'm looking at some of them being answered as we've been going along, but there was one from, I think, Antonio Suarez about how to approach if eSite already been implemented. It's quite interesting. the answer to that is actually that we have designed the solution so that there's a relatively simple migration from physical devices to the cloud management across the portfolio. So actually, to move from eSite to the cloud management, you just don't need to replace any hardware. You merely need to acquire new cloud licenses, and you can manage that migration. And we actually think across the platform, that's one of the advantages, is that we've designed this so all the hardware and equipment can be managed in 2 modes, effectively on-premise and traditional, if that's what you want, or you can migrate to cloud. It's not a swap out of equipment. I think that's quite an important way to work with customers to migrate. I noticed there was a question about security. I mean, I saw you replied, Victor. I don't know if there's anything you'd like to add to that security question at the moment. I mean, if not any other detailed questions, we will happily engage one-to-one afterwards on the specific requirements. Any other questions coming in at the moment? Chance to evening. As you see on the note as well, please, if you could bear with us a couple of minutes, because at the end of this presentation, we do have a little summary questionnaire we'd love you to fill in just to give us some feedback. So if you can do that, and absolutely we'll follow up. Generally, I mean, as a team, we're happy to take any direct follow-up and also put you in touch with your local account lead to follow up on the details of what we've shared today. So we'll happily follow up in more detail on all the issues. Great. I know there were a couple of questions came in, Richard, early on about the kind of how to really tell that marketing story and get the sales message moving. I don't know if there's anything you'd like to.
I think there's the one thing I would say, we're as a company, we're very good at the technology. We're incredibly good at technology. It's amazing actually, some of this working here, what we produce, where we've worked hard, and you saw a flavor of that in my slides, was to really say, how does the technology address customer need? And it's a sort of slightly a roundabout way of looking at it. It's actually more classical marketing way of looking at it, to say, what are my needs? And when we look at the customers now that are adopting cloud campus and managed campus networks, their overriding need is to transform in one shape or another, be that transform the way employees come to work and flexible desks, or right the way through to advanced asset tracking and other things. So the first thing I'd say is understanding what each customer's needs are, and we think those needs do replicate within those 4 core top line things, and then think about the technology in terms of customer benefit rather than the technology. So if I have a need to not lose any wheelchairs when I'm in the hospital, that's a need. The benefit is asset tracking is the solution, but the benefit is the amount of costs that you save and not having to buy as many wheelchairs, etc. So starting to think about much more benefit-led messaging to those customers based on your understanding of their needs, which can only come ultimately from a conversation with the customer, is really the way to go. And if we can do that, success comes very, very quickly. The technology is the enabler, very, very important, and it's a source of differentiation. But ultimately, it's about what is the benefit to my customer.
Cool. I agree with that completely.
Yeah.
Any other questions people want to raise? Quickly raise your type away. As I said, we will happily take. I mean, you can reach out through your account managers, and we can arrange follow-up conversations either with Rich, myself, the local team, depending on exactly what the issues you'd like to discuss in more detail. And so all the material will be made available. Given timing, I suggest we probably draw it to a close there. What I would say, please don't log off at the moment. Once we just close the video cameras, there will be a short questionnaire will come up on the screen, and you can use that and you apply to file that. I just want to say thank you to the speakers, Rich, to Victor, and team who put this together. I hope you found it useful and informative. There's a lot of opportunity here, as you can see, to exploit in the future. Thanks for everybody's time and participation, and enjoy the rest of your day.